Hello world, you're watching 80s Music Twin Ranked. I'm Joel.
I'm Chris.
And again, we're covering 80s music artists.
Today we're doing Karl Marx. Richard Marx. Unfortunate last name spelling.
I did think about that joke. I'm like, no. And funny, on IMDb, which covers movies, he was in the movie way back when. And his name was actually spelled Marx, like
KS, right.
Yeah. So, for some reason, maybe he had to argue. Somebody probably told him, hey, it looks like Karl Marx, we can't go with that. And then he got popular and he's like, I'm changing it back.
What would it and his followers would be called? But Marxists.
That's a good question. What are his followers called?
yeah, because people, they have, right, I know. Taylor Swift has Swifties, yeah.
Yes, I know.
Benedict Cumberbatch has, I won't say what he has, so I'll tell you later.
Are they called Benedict Arnolds?
No, it's Cumber, not Batches.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, anyways, we're doing Richard Marx, who, his career didn't start really his debut album, 1987, but he was involved in the music industry way before that. Even, he's actually written, so how many number ones does he have? About 6 or 7? Maybe.
He had like 3 in a row.
3 in a row, which was
2 different albums.
And I think because of how many
and which is weird. I looked his first album. His number 1 was "Hold On to the Night," which was his 4th hit. And I thought that wasn't the best song that he released.
No, but you know what? This seems to be at a time where Billboard loves slow songs. I don't.
And then he put his next album out, "Repeat Offender," and the first 2 were number 1. So.
And he's got like the record for male artist. His very first 5 singles all being in the top 10. Nobody else has done.
Depends which list you look at. If you look at adult contemporary, sometimes they're like, he had number 1 here, but it wasn't here in the Billboard.
Right.
So
and yeah, everybody goes by the Billboard 100 for the list that's out there. Like, I want to call it Main Street Media. Anyways, but in case you are a movie buff like we are, and you happen to be coming across the movie and it says film editor Richard Marx,
yeah.
That ain't him. We're watching Firewalker with Chuck Norris, and I thought, oh, is that him? And no way to check back then in the 80s, but now you can check all over the place. No, it's not him. But so he was on the Goldbergs too. You mentioned to me
the wedding episode, I believe.
Yeah, Rick Springfield was on the Goldbergs. We didn't mention that last week, but he was on as Gary somebody or other.
He owned a
karaoke bar for where Erica sang. I think it's the reason we like the Goldbergs is because it's just like Cobra Kai. They are nostalgic for the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Goldbergs do that too, and they got the guy that wears the Rush shirts, obviously. So Richard Marx, he plays himself, right? So did he sing at the wedding or something or whatever it is?
I did not. I didn't get up to that episode. That's the last season. So.
But I know he's on the Goldbergs. Also interesting, so here's another tie with Rick Springfield. Rick Springfield, he starred in a TV movie called Nick Knight. Right. Now, Richard Marx did not put out a song for that, but his song, Endless Summer Nights, is in that movie. Unintentional, indirectly. There's a connection.
He had a lot of nights, like Children of the Night.
Yeah. So Richard Marx starts in '87. Equal distribution. First 4 albums are really, and they're behind me. You mentioned 2 of them already, followed by Rush Street. So we've got 3 in a row that start with the letter R.
Yeah, you didn't have Richard Marx on, right?
I did not.
Neither did I. You know who did?
Who?
Our mom.
Did she?
She had Rush Street.
Oh, did she? Okay. You know what? And that's probably because Hazard came out.
Yeah.
And then he broke the string and put Paid Vacation out. Got away from the letter R. And then after that, you don't hear from him other than a song from Anastasia. I saw that movie recently, and I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. That's probably why, because I just saw that. Duet with Donna Lewis, who has her own hit. 3 hits, actually, but the only one I know is I Will Love You Always Forever. And that's the last you heard from her. And I think that's his last Billboard chart. And I'm not going to flip the chart because everything after Flesh and Bone irrelevant.
Yeah, his last album was a Christmas album, which I think we had another artist whose last album was a Christmas album.
Yeah, I forget. 38 Special, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, equally distributed amongst hits on the albums. Now, what's your favorite
I would get his debut.
debut?
Yeah.
I would say I wanted to get the debut.
If you don't like the debut, most likely you like
Repeat Offender, I think. Yeah. So and then it goes down from there, but still, Rush Street's a pretty good one because it's got
I
Hazard.
think Repeat Offender is his better selling album, though.
Repeat Offender, I would assume so.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised when you hear that Boston had the best debut, and it didn't get supplanted until Guns N' Roses. I'm like, I don't know why Richard Marx's debut wouldn't be better than Guns N' Roses, because he came and he was immediate superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of his slow songs won't be on our, but he
had some good ones.
He
though.
has a lot of. He has a. Yeah, Right Here Waiting, I heard on the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to hear his because.
And I told you this when I was listening to the songs to get my list. That he says twice that he's slowly going insane. He does it.
Yes.
Right Here Waiting starts it. Oceans Apart, and what's that? Oceans Apart. That's the next two words.
Yeah, day after day.
Day after day.
And I slowly
go insane. And then should have known better. He's like, being away from you is slowly driving me insane.
Yeah.
And of course, in Rush Street and Hazard, he did go insane, and everybody's like, that boy ain't right.
Of course, if you look at pictures of him today, he didn't go insane, but he did lose his hairline, and now he looks like Art Garfunkel.
He did. That's one thing I noticed. I remember it when he came out. Don't mean nothing his first hit. I remember that hit. It's about the business that he seems to be entering into also.
Yes.
And if you see the video, his then soon-to-be wife, Cynthia Rhodes, is in it. She was in the movie Runaway with Tom Selleck.
And she sang a song for Animotion. She replaced the original girl and sang a song for My Stepmother is an Alien called Room to Move.
She was in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, so 25 years there.
25 years, and then they divorced, and he then married Daisy Fuentes, who I forgot about her.
MTV DJ, I remember her.
Because, Daisy, Paris named her Daisy because Fuentes sounds like she's like Spanish, Mexican.
Does sound like it, yeah.
Daisy.
I remember, I think she was a swimsuit model too, so yeah. So he's done well for himself. And then, I don't know if anybody heard this, but recently, like within the last 5 to 10 years, he stopped a plane takeover or something. Korean Air, somebody was getting hostile.
Early passengers.
Yeah, so the big story about him taking him down. Want to see that? It's like, he knew kung fu fighting.
No, he's just.
Okay, maybe I want that story to be more than it is.
No, it was probably more like he did what Billy Idol did in The Wedding Singer, where he stopped the ex-wife and said, hold on!
Billy Idol.
Yeah, where he pushed him into the cart. More like that.
Right. So, still a cool story, especially when it was way past. You hadn't heard from him for a while because of 1997 being his last hit, and then suddenly he pops up. And that's when I knew he was married to Daisy Fuentes, because that puts in the story too. I don't know, maybe she was with him. That could be the case. All right, so prior to, so he has only 3 #1 hits. But I read that I think he has 14 #1 hits that because he wrote a lot of songs for other people. I don't know what is best known, but he started writing songs for Kenny Rogers.
I said country artists.
Yeah, so whether those were on #1s on a country chart, we don't follow country, so who knows? But he wrote a good song for NSYNC, something for Luther Vandross. So yeah, he's got writing skills too. Now, because he was late 80s, of our top 10, most of them will actually be the 90s.
Yeah.
Right, so this is the first time we
the first 4 hits by 80s.
Yeah, so this is the first artist of ours that won't have the majority being 80s. Well, let me rephrase that. First time where it will be more 90s than 80s. We have had an artist where it's mostly 70s, and that was the Eagles. Which is cool because guess who plays guitar on one of his songs?
Joe Walsh. I watched that.
Joe Walsh.
Don't Mean Nothing?
Don't Mean
Yeah,
Nothing.
he does a slide guitar solo. So, and he wasn't the only one of the Eagles that played. I think Timothy B. Schmidt was on it.
Yes, and Randy Meisner both did
so-
backing vocals, but yeah, Joe Walsh played, and so that's pretty cool that he did that. And just so you know, Don't Mean Nothing. That
And he's done backing vocals on other artists' albums, songs. So.
and he had a bunch of other people. So Don't Mean Nothing though. That means it means something, right? Don't mean nothing. It means something. For you,
Because it's a double
for you
negative.
grammar police. so he's had good artists on his albums. He went from let's see, first one Joe Walsh. Second album had Bill Champlin, who's the keyboardist for Chicago. He was the one that sang when Peter Cetera didn't. Third album, Billy Joel played on the song. Fourth album, Lionel Richie was in it. So, and then Randy Jackson plays bass
Lionel
on a lot of
Richie
songs.
was the reason he went out to L.A.
Was it really?
He heard Rich Marx stuff and said, "Oh, you got talent." He goes, "You should move to L.A." He goes, "I can't promise anything."
Right.
But then he did well. But yeah, I said, "Yeah, come on, L.A. You might fail, but come on." It's like,
there's a good advice. Come on and fail.
yeah, he didn't say like, "I'll help you." He didn't
Right,
say,
I want to see you get your butt kicked.
yeah, if you think he's so good, produce his album.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, he could have. I mean,
Yeah.
he had a good career up until that point. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Who knows why he didn't? Why don't you help me? I don't know who you are. Go get somebody else who you know. See, the song does say it's basically who you know, not what you can do. Isn't that one of the lyrics?
Say it again.
One of the lyrics is something like it's who you know, not who what you can do.
Don't Mean Nothing. Yeah,
Don't Mean
that's
Nothing.
in there.
I think
Yeah.
that's it. I forget how it's worded, but it's in there. All right, and lastly, let's see. So maybe I was thought about saying this when we got to the song, but okay. So "Endless Summer Nights," probably the one slower song that we'll have on our list. I know
Right.
for a fact. So we already mentioned.
Is it because the drums sound cool?
Kind of? Yeah.
It's just the
Probably.
drum sounds pretty
So
hard.
you
there.
mentioned his wife. His wife was in the first video.
Yeah, so is G.W. Bailey, who's from Wrestler's Rhapsody with Tom Berenger, but he's also in Police Academy.
Police Academy, yes. Okay, so third, Endless Summer Nights. There's a model woman in there. Call her name's Myrtle or something for some reason. Anyways, she was married to Flash Gordon.
Sam Jones.
Sam Jones. Movie tie. He only has Anastasia, so
Yeah.
why not do that? And then we didn't mention the Hazard, which is the
I think we've
storyline.
mentioned before. Flash Gordon is a good movie. Yeah, it was
Yes.
Queen when we did Queen. Of course.
Right. So
One thing upsets me a little bit is that it wasn't his voice. It was somebody else's voice. It overdubbed
really
Sam
for
Jones.
Sam Jones, that's
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he's been in other movies, but that's his best. And then so Hazard, when it came out, it was like very unusual, with a murder story and all that kind of stuff. But the police in there, one policeman in charge, he may have killed her, possibly.
Yeah, it doesn't really say.
Doesn't really say. It leaves
Richard
it
Marx
up-
could be the murderer in that video.
It
We're
leaves
not
it
sure.
up to debate, but the one cop who might also be the killer, the one that was trailing Richard Marx, that's played by Robert Conrad, who he was the lead character in the Western comedy series Wild Wild West.
Yeah, he did play a murderer in one episode of Columbo.
Who hasn't? Or three. A lot of artists play.
Not too many. There's like Peter Falk's good friends
Okay.
played in a lot of their episodes.
Yeah,
multiple times.
I can think of three artists who
Yeah.
they come back and they're the villain again.
Yeah.
How they swing that, I don't know. Anyways, that's enough about Richard Marx's history and all. Let's get to the top 10.
Top 10.
Okay. I think that's our history. So I come to something, I'm like, okay. So you lose two. I lose one.
Okay, that's unusual.
And because you chose a lot of the slow songs.
Okay.
Can't be too, why? Okay,
Get those out of here. This is not a slow song channel.
So, first one you lose is Right Here Waiting, the song I heard on the way over here. Somehow...
Not his best known song, you would think.
I know. Well, let's just say, okay, so we said most of these will be from the 90s. So you're going to be hard-pressed to hear his songs on the radio.
Okay.
Because if most of those ones,
the classic stations are the 80s.
The 80s, and so he doesn't have, well, he does have a lot, but again, the slow ones. Right Here Waiting. I don't know, do you hear his first one?
I don't hear anything. Nothing? I hear nothing from Richard Marx, ever.
I hear the slow songs. I do hear the slow. Okay, so Right Here Waiting, and then, and believe it or not, he was trying to get a Def Leppard sound using that song. Somehow. I don't know. And then the other one would be Now and Forever, which I think is his slowest song. But when I think about it, this is funny. When you listen to the guitar part on it, it sounds like Weird Al's one slow song that was on Off the Deep End. You Don't Love Me Anymore.
Yeah.
That song sounds like his song. So I don't know who got it first because that was a 1990 Weird Al CD. Okay, so yeah, Now and Forever, Right Here Waiting. The one I lost was Nothing Left Behind Us, and that was off the Paid Vacation. So the lesser of the albums, I can understand that. Okay, so in our top 10, from Repeat Offender, this would be Children of the Night, coming out in 1990. I had this at number 9. You had it at 14.
Song about vampires.
No, believe it or not, it's talking about.
And this song he donated all the royalties to charity.
And he didn't think it'd be a hit, but he's glad it was a hit because of that. There was actually an organization called Children of the Night to help. I forget, was it Runaways or something like that? I don't know, but good for him. All right, next one up, number 9 would be Endless Summer Nights, the ones in Children of the Night. I guess you could say it's a semi-slow song, and he uses a choir. Okay, Endless Summer Nights is number 9. That's from his debut. I have this one at 12, so I actually don't have it in my top 10, but you do at number 7, so you had a lot of slow songs in your top 10.
It's like 50-50 too, isn't
yeah,
it? Doesn't have to be...
But yeah, he has a lot more slow, maybe a lot more slow.
More slow, okay.
It's fast.
A third
and a half. Okay, and number 8, the only song coming off a Paid Vacation for us, and that's The Way She Loves Me. I have this one at 7, you have it at 11. I think I like this one because it's a triple song. It sounds different, and it's not, well, I won't.
How'd that sound go again?
Shush. Another unusual sounding song is the next one, number 7, coming from Rush Street. That's Keep Coming Back. You have this at 5, I have it at 10. This one has a pretty cool saxophone solo. Again, a lot of people using saxophone solos in, this was early 90s actually, so not even the 80s. And it almost sounds like it could be used in a mystery movie.
Yeah, it's a really kind of cool. What's the words? I would say don't know why. Keep coming back to you.
I don't know. Yeah, so that's number 7. Next one up also comes from Rush Street. This is Take This Heart. I have this one at 4. You have it at 8. I'm wearing a baseball shirt for the Indians, now the Guardians.
Yeah, that's one. He was.
They were playing on the field of the baseball.
That are outside. Yeah.
And I think he was dreaming of being the winning batter for a World Series.
I think he wanted to be a baseball player if he wasn't a musician.
Maybe. And I'll tell you what, at least in the video, all his backing musicians look just like him with the big hair. All of them.
Yeah. It wasn't. Should have put it out for the Major League movie.
92. So that movie, both, I think that and the sequel already were passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when I watch it, I see the drummer on he was on the home plate. I think it'd be cool to hear the sound of the drums in a stadium.
If you were like an outfield after his playing it.
All right, and then I think there's when you pull up the song and click on it, the video, there's like people that can say the dream wouldn't have made sense anyways because they were not the home team. It was the away team, so his home run would not have won the game because the other team gets to bat one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Know your rules. All right, number 5, coming from the debut, and this would be Should Have Known Better. You have this at number 2, and I have this
not higher than that?
5.
No, I should know better.
Well, yeah, I kind of like it. Should have known better than to fall in love with you. That really
Now
sounds
that's
good.
just a fading memory.
Yeah. I fell in love with you. Yeah, I should have known better. What? Number 4 comes from repeat offender, and this would be Too Late to Say Goodbye. My number 1. Your number 6. And it's got the sound to like Footloose. And it starts out slow, ends slow with that flamingo type dancing guitar. Now, what I like about this, okay, the title is Too Late to Say Goodbye. But he says that in a couple other songs. I forget what he says about goodbye in a slow song. But in like Take This Heart, he's like, no more goodbyes. There ain't nothing gonna take this heart of mine. It's like, wait, it's too late for goodbyes though.
Yeah, the only reason I would think this Too Late to Say Goodbye is when somebody's in the hospital and then they died before you got there and said goodbye. Oh.
All right, number 3, coming from Rush Street. Your number 1. Now this is the same exact number, but your number 1 more popular song. That's why I flipped it to 3. Hazard.
Yes.
My number 6. And again, we mentioned that it's actually, I would think this would be his most memorable song, just based on the topic.
The video. Right?
You know, the video probably because
Everybody's like, wait a minute. Richard Marx is so wholesome. He wouldn't have killed anybody.
I know. I mean, he even burnt down the house with his mom.
Apparently his mom and yeah.
Well, his dad left.
Yeah. That was his mom and her lover.
Okay. All right. So, and he actually called Nebraska, saying, "Give me a list of all your cities that are 2 syllables." To go with the song.
Does he actually say hazard in the song? I'm not sure he actually says.
He does.
Okay.
When he goes, this old Nebraska. Well, that's what he said. This old Nebraska.
He doesn't say hazard.
Many years ago in a town called Hazard.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's what it was. Okay, I could be wrong. Sounds good. Okay, but I'm sure Hazard is in the song, and it actually has a double meaning, which is cool. Okay, and you would think, did tourism go up in that city?
He didn't even go down.
Alright, show us that creek where the woman died.
Yeah. No, she didn't actually
And
die. Anyways,
I heard there's no river.
It's a fictional.
It's a fictional story. You know,
Yeah.
people are like, I want to see.
Did they even record the video in Hazard? They could have
That's-
recorded it anywhere.
That's true. I don't know. Okay, because that would be a tourism spot to visit the place
Where
the video was shot.
Yeah. So.
Okay, but I hear there's actually no river in that city, so it couldn't have been. Okay, coming from his debut at number 2, Don't Mean Nothing. Both of us have it at number 3. Neither one likes the other number 1, but we both like number 3. So, pretty cool debut song though. You know, with it being, it's got a slow beat, but it's cool. So you got to put it up there. All right. And yeah, that would just think about the songs we put on. So Should Have Known Better, Don't Mean Nothing, Endless Summer Nights, and then they had Hold On to the Nights. That's a pretty good debut. Yep. All right, and unlike Rick Springfield, who had 5 years in a row where 8 albums, if you notice behind me, he separated every other year.
Yeah.
So
And then he wasn't mostly. He wasn't mostly in the '80s either. So
yeah, so maybe that prolonged his career because he spanned it out every couple of years. Rick Springfield, like, I should have not put one out.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I had seen Rick Springfield. Not Richard Marx. He
in concert.
He was at the county fair here
Oh, okay.
one year with he had that album Duo with the singer from Vertical Horizon.
Okay.
They were both at the fair.
Okay.
So the Vertical Horizon guy actually got up and played his song.
Did you know he was going to play when you went there?
No, I didn't.
So
did I know Richard Marx is going to be there? I think yeah.
Did you go specifically to hear him?
No, we went because they were having the fair.
Okay.
But yeah, and the concert was free. It's just you walk there and Eddie Money was also there. Not that year, but so I've seen Richard Marx and Eddie Money.
That's pretty cool.
At that
Yeah, I
fair.
think I saw Night Ranger, like, well, it's got to be 10 years by now, but man, I can't. Time flies. No, it was that long ago. And Cindy Thompson, when she was a country singer with 3 good songs out, she played. Okay, yeah, you just happen upon those things sometimes. All right, so that means we're up to our number 1, and that would be from Repeat Offender. Yeah, you have to guess what it is now. This is only fast number 1. Most of his number 1s are slow. This was his number 1. That was fast.
This number 1 will satisfy me.
Yes. Although you put it at number 4.
No, I'm just kidding. I just knew that's the only one we haven't put in the list yet.
Yeah, so this was my
Satisfied.
This is my number 2, and your number 4, and it's Satisfied.
Yeah.
And that comes from Repeat Offender. And because my top 2 songs that I like are both from Repeat Offender, that's why.
Now he had wrote this 3 years before his debut, and he liked it, and he's played it for people, but he didn't want to let anybody else have it. So after he had his first album, he's like, okay, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah. And he ain't gonna stop until he's satisfied. He's selfish. I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, what the heck does he mind? Why are you like that? You can't just stop it. I can't stop until I'm satisfied. All right. Anyways, so that's our number 1. And that's our our top 10. And you agree because all the slow songs were given the boot. Unless you're a woman. Maybe the women would rank the top 10 would be slow. Anyway, so what do you think? Comment, share, like, click that button, whatever it is, and come back next week when we do. I say a one-hit wonder. No, it's not.
No, it's not a one-hit wonder.
One album wonder.
We'll give you hints of their best album.
Oh, I get it. And the color blue. Throw that in there. That made no sense whatsoever.
Until next week.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, so there's your hint. Good luck with that. Bye.
Bye.